Well, we got some more news on WuKong sales and how great the game actually is, and it will only get better from here. Also, PoE 2 is shaping up to probably be better than Diablo. I'll give my opinion on that. I do like PoE 2 and Diablo. And Indiana Jones coming to PlayStation. Is this a good or bad thing for either side? But let's get into WuKong. WuKong has officially showed 10 million copies on all the platforms it's currently on. And this is huge because it's only been a week. It's a week when I'm recording this. This game is just to show you that it's not even done, which is crazy. And it's seeming like WuKong should be Game of the Year. I mean, I don't know how you can sell 10 million copies in a week and not be Game of the Year. And it's not even on all platforms. I keep saying this, like people keep forgetting WuKong is not on Xbox and it's not on Nintendo Switch. And it might come to Nintendo, and what I mean Nintendo Switch is WuKong might come to Nintendo Switch too. The next Nintendo console. And that can just be another 5 million copies between Nintendo and WuKong. The game, who knows if WuKong drops a DLC 2 years from now. The game is just oozing success, and it's really nice to see because after, it feels like we've been seeing this game for almost 10 plus years. It was just a almost a myth or a legend. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't think the game was going to be good. And not because I want games to be bad. It was just that seeing a game for 10 years and never, getting a demo or seeing actual gameplay from trusted sources, the game really just hid all the way up to its release. It never really tried to prove anything to anybody before release. So it came out and just proved everyone wrong, even me. I thought the game was going to be a lie, a boogie mess, and just something. Half of the time, I didn't even think the game was going to exist. But I am glad it is doing good because that means that now we can start looking at Japan for more games. And people can realize that you can make games, just make good games. It's nice to see it. Game Science deserves every copy they sold, all the success they get. And it's nice to see. I love it. Now let's get into PoE 2, the game that I'm pretty excited for. The free-to-play action RPG. I don't know if it's an MMO. It's not massively multiplayer. I've played PoE 1. It's closer to Diablo. But this game is shaping up to be amazing. And it's not matter if you like Diablo better than PoE. The thing PoE has is Diablo has everything. Has everything the same Diablo has, but PoE is free. And honestly, I think PoE is more huge than Diablo. Diablo has a lot of repeating characters. Also, Diablo has an expansion coming out that's worth $40, which could be coming out the same time as PoE 2. So now you have to choose between PoE 2 or Diablo $40 expansion, which is probably really not going to add that much. After a month or two, you might regret the $40 purchase. But PoE 2, it's free. The only thing you really have to buy is Game Pass. Not Game Pass. It's Battle Pass and cosmetics, and that's all optional. And there's nothing wrong with treating yourself to a skin, once every month or once every 2 weeks. This game art style is a way better upgrade than PoE. I honestly think the art style in this game looks better than Diablo. Diablo has a pretty bland art style, and it's because you see the same shit too much. When you first buy the game Diablo, it looks amazing. But after maybe even a few days, it's like, okay, you're tired of seeing the same enemy creature for 100th time. And, that's why Diablo is flexing that they're making new enemy designs, which aren't really even new. They said they were bringing them back from something previous. And they said this in their interview that they were bringing something back from a previous game, or maybe it's a previous monster that's been created and it's had just a new coat of paint. So it's not even new enemy design. And PoE 2 has said in their interview that all the creatures that they've created are brand new. They are not existing any creatures. Obviously you might have your skeletons, but the skeletons are still rebuilt from something new and not just their old game. I'm pretty sure the basis of their old game is still used to make the new version. But it's nice to hear that we'll get everything that is going to be a fresh. It's going to feel like a sequel rather than an expansion, which is always needed for these type of MMO or action RPG games because they can get stale really fast, especially if you like the game and you grind it out. You needed to probably take breaks from this game. That's the only reason I tolerate Diablo is I take a break from it and play something else and then come back to it because it's really not there's no reason to spend 5 hours just to get a better weapon that isn't really that much better that you're gonna find a new one that's better in another couple hours. And it's gonna be nice to see finally Diablo versus PoE, and I'm excited for that battle. Personally, I hope PoE wins. And lastly, Indiana Jones is coming to PlayStation in spring 2025. If I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have the picture up if I'm wrong, but uh, Indy coming to PlayStation is not surprised. It is surprising, to be honest. I didn't think they would send this big of a game over to PlayStation. I was expecting something that already exists, maybe like a Starfield, but for a game that's not even out yet, it is surprising to see. It is surprising to see that. There's so many games they could have chosen. Indiana Jones, if Indiana Jones is huge and it is a Gears of War or a Halo or a Forza type of staple for Xbox, well, then it's not anymore. And I think a lot of people are like, well, I think this is good for everybody. All gamers eat when someone does this. But a lot of people are like, why would Xbox do this? Or I think it's because they have to. They need the money. It's all about money. And I think this is a good idea. Do I think they should have done it this early? No, I think you should at least wait like at least 2 years before you do this. You should always wait at least 2 years before you put another console because most people aren't waiting 2 years to play a game that they're hyped for. Sooner or later, you're going to put your hand in the cookie jar. But now that people know that the game is coming and it's coming pretty soon, they'll wait it out. Even though Xbox will still get their money's worth, however much they're getting, I don't know. But I do know they're getting some type of profit for sharing their games. It's still pretty fine, and PlayStation reaps the rewards. But PlayStation, I don't think people understand that Final Fantasy might stop being an exclusive to PlayStation. They've already announced that they're worried about their sales, or they're not worried about their sales. They obviously do great, and every game is good. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16 are both phenomenal games that were both a Game of the Year worthy, and they're not worried about that, but they're worried about the potential is being limited to just PlayStation. Even after 100 years, Final Fantasy VII cannot leave PlayStation unless PlayStation chooses, which is pretty bad. But Final Fantasy has already been talking, and maybe they'll stop with the PlayStation only or make a deal with PlayStation. Hey, after 2 years, we have to head to Xbox, Switch, and PC, regardless of how you feel. So it's coming nothing new. Like I said, it doesn't really matter where games go. Because if there's a game I like, I'm just going to go play it, no matter where it is. If it's on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, the only thing I won't play on is Switch because it's a handheld and I don't feel comfortable holding a handheld while I'm playing the game. I might, hook it up to the TV with a controller. So, yeah, I'll play anywhere. I play Smash. If I want to really play a game, the PlayStation console is not going to hold me back. So, I don't agree with I agree with Indiana Jones going to Xbox. I just don't agree with them announcing it's going to Xbox on release, and I don't agree with how soon it's coming because telling people that it's coming regardless, people are just going to wait. They're just going to wait now. Like they know it's on its way, so they're just going to sit there and wait for their turn. Whether if you never told them Indiana Jones was coming to PlayStation, and then 2 years later it's oh dang it's on PlayStation, people are already going to be playing it. If the game is good and people are like giving it good reviews, the people they watch are liking it, families telling them, hey, this game is actually good, they're going to go buy it if they have an Xbox or a PC for Game Pass. But that is all. Peace and thank you.